Good to see you this morning or this afternoon. And we're going to go back to Jeremiah. We're going to go back to the 33rd chapter. And we're going to pick up. Last time I was sharing out of the translation that we're all familiar with, King James. We'll be sharing out of another translation today. And we'll see how far we get. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to share with you this morning without the challenge of streaming, because my desire is that we would get to know one another better, not in a church type way, but as men and women of integrity, men and women of the Most High that live in circumstances that are challenging, no doubt about it. But those that seek after his instructions to live their lives by, I'm going to keep saying it, there is a stark difference between those that are going after his instruction, that are trying with everything that they have to live by his instruction, rather than a lot of the information that has been preached to us, taught to us. There's a difference. And I would encourage you, as one among you, seek after his instructions. Seek after his instructions. A lot of our information has been tainted, perverted, some innocently, but some with not so good intentions. And many of us are suffering today as a result of it. However, we are not victims. Let me say that again. We are not victims. I do want to encourage you, because many are up against it. And many are not voicing that they're up against it. But my desire is that you realize when you come here, you can leave your religious masks in your car. You can leave whatever whatever preconceived notions you have about yourself, you can leave that in your car. You can pick it up when you walk out the door. This month, we don't want to just recite his instructions. We want to live them. Again, we don't want to just recite his instructions. We want to live them. Life as we know it, it exists on that premise. We got to do what he say. We got to do it his way. And we got to do it in his order. And he has an order. It is not up to us to insert our life's philosophies into the instruction. That has been a stumbling block for many of us. Not you, us. Not them, us. You see, even as we're learning to recite them and we can recall many of them, it should motivate us to do something. Let me say that again. It should motivate us to do something. It should motivate us to do something. What's that? Well, in following instructions, you proceed as you're led. And when you have a question about, do I keep going? Turn around and ask. Turn around and look. Position yourself where you can hear clearly. When things are discussed, when things are brought out, it's wonderful. But does it motivate your heart to do something? See, it's a little bit more. See, the instructions are to be enacted. Christianity may not necessarily motivate you to do something. Instructions are not given just to recite. Instructions are given for us to get into action. It's not given just to sound good in church. We must graduate past that. In 33, it says the word, and they have Adonai here. The word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah a second time while he was still in prison in the guard's quarters. Now, here again, you know, this thing about the prophets, we get to see what Yah thinks about us. We get to see another side of him that we don't hear about much. We hear about all the good stuff. We hear about all the blessings. We hear about how he loves us. And all of that is true. in friendships, I'm not even going to marriages because we all know about that. I'm talking about just in friendships, platonic friendships. There are things you like about your best friend, and there may be some things your best friend like about you, but there may be some things that you rub one another the wrong way or a different way. Do you break up the friendship? I'm just asking. I don't want you to answer. You just think about it. And, you know, we've all been told how much he loves us. And again, all of that's true. But I want to ask you something. With how many other close friends that you have you ever had a disagreement? Have you ever had to deal with a barrage of things that they either said or did that, you know, when it happened every now and then, you could always weather the storm? Because you said, well, our friendship is stronger than that. And if it's a real friendship, it should be. It should be. But a lot of that has to do with the maturity level of both participants in the friendship. And you know, it's woefully clear. You know, a lot of us are immature. I didn't say you, I said a lot of us are immature. And believe it or not, even though he loves us, it irritates him. Give an ear. The word of Yah came to Jeremiah a second time while he was still in prison in the guard's quarters. Now, his mouthpiece, his spokesperson, his guy in prison. The person that he chose, hey, listen, I got something I want to deliver to the people, and I want you to deliver it for me. Tell them this, tell them that. And most of them, when they first got the charge, they went and did it. What am I saying? Sometimes in following the instructions, there's turmoil. See, most of us were taught, hey, come down, give your heart to Jesus, and everything gonna be all right. And the place go wild. For some of us, life was pretty smooth until we made that quality decision. And then all hell broke loose for some of us. Listen to what he was saying here. Thus saith Yah, the maker, Yah who formed the universe, so as to keep directing it. See, so he, you know, we read in Genesis, and he did this, and he did that, and he did this. But here is saying that who formed the universe so as to keep directing it. So he's still spitting out instructions to creation. The tide know how much to go in, and then it go back. The trees know how tall they grow. Everything still is following his direction, most everything. Still directing, still giving out orders so as to keep directing him. Yah is his name. Call out to me and I will answer you. I will tell you great things, hidden things of which you are unaware. Now, a lot of us, we're in a quandary. We're like, Father, what's going on? To the best of my knowledge, I'm doing all I can. And sometimes, I just use myself, sometimes I'm doing all I want to do, if I'm being honest. I'm following your directions to the degree that I want to follow your directions. Being flat out honest, not religious. And so when I stop following his instructions, he might say, did I tell you to stop? I took it upon myself to stop. Being honest. Yah says, call out to me and I will answer you. I will tell you great things, hidden things of which you are unaware. You know, sometimes when stuff starts getting messed up, for me, again, I'm talking about myself because I ain't going to get mad at me. And I'm not going to get in my feelings about me. I've ceased following instructions and I'm going my own way. And there's a passage in one of the other books of the prophet where it says there was a city where everybody did what was right in their own eyes. And it didn't end up so good for them. And so what I'm saying to myself is, well, Barry, you keep trying to do it your way, it's not going to end up good for you. I said last week, I can't follow his instructions for 15 minutes and think everything will be all right. When you get in a fight, the fight ain't over till the fight is over. You don't start a fight, time out. You hit me in my eye. I need 2 minutes. No, he's going to finish you off. We are immature, saints. I will tell you great things, hidden things of which you are unaware. For here is what Yah, the God of Israel, says concerning the houses of this city and the palaces of the kings of Judah, which are about to be destroyed and used as siege works and ramparts, where they will come to fight the Kasdim, which is the Chaldeans. These places will eventually be filled with the corpses of people whom I am striking down in my anger and fury. Now, you don't hear, now, granted, I haven't been in every house of worship. But I wonder how many talk about this. And I'm not trying to pick a fight. the hope is that we mature and we grow and we want to do what he say. Because when we want to do what he say and we put it into action, we don't just start sitting and commiserating and saying, oh, how good is it to hear the word of the Father, and not be motivated to do something. It's more than just coming here and feeling, oh man, the teaching was good, the preaching was good, and you do what you did last week. Where's the growth? Us, we. These places will eventually be filled with the corpses of people I'm striking down in my anger and fury. Everyone whose wickedness has caused me to hide my face from the city. And you know, and it was true. But I have shared with you, sometimes when I'm being a royal knucklehead, he turns his face from me, but he does it in mercy, because if he looks at me in my sin, I'm out of here. And that's no plaything. And he's granted mercy to many of you. That's why some of us are still here. And you know, we don't want him to be angry with us. We really don't. But why? Why do we do what we do? Why can't we follow instructions? These places will eventually be filled with the corpses of people whom I am striking down in my anger and fury. Everyone whose wickedness has caused me to hide my face from this city. And then again, see, he does, yes, he loves us. Because then he says right behind it, he says, however, and I read in earlier passages where 1 minute he's like, Barry, I'm gonna wear you out. Your parents have told you that. Sometimes we do some boneheaded stuff, and sometimes they'll call you in there, and you go in there and you're standing before them, and they'll go to your room. Because they know if they correct you at that moment, they ain't gonna kill you, but they may hurt you. And they want to correct you. But, you know, some of us, we're so hard-headed and stiff-necked. Sometimes, as my mom shared, the last thing with Yah that he'll use to turn you around is called agony. But even the agony is for our good. Because with the agony, he's saying, Barry, turn around, repent, about face. Cut that mess out. Listen to this. He says, 1 minute he said, I'm angry and I'm furious with him and I'm gonna deal with him. And then he says, however. That's how he is. See, we are precious to him. Even when I mess up, and I'm telling you, man, listen, if I stink, you do know I know you stink too. I just use myself as an example. I'm being honest with you. I'm not playing church. I'm sick of it. He says, however, I will bring it health and healing. I will heal them and reveal to them peace and truth in plenty. But the verse before, he said what? I'm going to wipe them out in my anger and fury. Some of us, we've gotten whippings or punishment or whatever they're doing these days, and your parents have told you, we didn't believe it when they told us, they said, this hurt me more than it hurt you. And I'm like, you the one, man, you swinging that belt pretty good, Pop. But it's the same way with us. Stuff keeps happening, and we're like, well, yeah, Father. And he's saying, boy, about face. Give that stuff up. Quit that. You going your own way. And then here's what some of us do. And notice I said some of us. We smut up his Torah. We don't need to add nothing to it. Just do what he say. Well, I've studied under da-da-da-da-da. I sat under so-and-so minutes. So what? They stink too. And see, when you get to a point in your life where you can begin to, see, some of us are nose blind. We're so used to going through certain kind of calisthenics. We can't smell ourselves. But he can. I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes other saints can too. And you took a shower and you got on deodorant too. And $1,500 cologne or perfume. However, I will bring it health and healing. I will heal them and reveal to them peace and truth in plenty. I will cause the captives of Judah and the captives of Israel to return, and I will build them up as I did at first. I shared with you before that when you looking at Genesis, another way you could look at this, when he kept saying, he did this and it was good, and he did that and it was good, and he did this and that was good, and he did that and it was good. And then he gave them some instructions. Most of us, because of the way we studied it and we were taught, we don't look at that as a covenant. It was a covenant. Yeah, well, English is better than nothing. However, I will bring it health and healing. I will heal them and reveal to them peace and truth in plenty. I will cause the captives of Judah and the captives of Israel to return, and I will build them up as I did at first. So, you know, in Jeremiah, it seemed like 1 minute he mad at me. And the next minute he's saying, boy, don't listen. And sometimes, listen, even in friendship sometimes friendships Well, women do it now too, but back in the day, guys, two friends might end up they getting in a fight. Yeah, well, no, I pick, because I fought with all my brothers, but my oldest brother, I could never beat him, but that wouldn't stop me from fighting, Now, he's going to correct us. And he's correcting us because he loves us. And sometimes it's as if, I don't know if he cried, but it's as if he cried, because I read in Jeremiah where he was saying he was wiping away tears, but he was still tearing my behind up. That's not a bad word. Lord have mercy. We so churchy. I dare say sometimes when some of you got corrected, your parents might have shed a tear. Probably your mom, not your dad. Yeah, your dad might have, but most of the time, if pop in on the action, you really done something. But he's the same way with us. He's like, listen, I've given you my instructions. What's your problem? Why are you so hard-headed? And then you get around other people. Yes, well, praise God. We got to take it more serious. And his instructions are more than just coming to church. Folks, we are the church. We too, and I'm not being irreverent, we too are the walking Torah when we're obedient to it. And we live by it. I'm not saying we're on par with Yeshua. Please, don't get that twisted. Please, listen with mature ears. Ask for mature understanding. And I'm not saying that like I'm deep, because that's another thing immature people do. I'm not here trying to make you think nothing. I'm learning just like everybody else. And I've learned enough to know we stink. I will cleanse them from all their sins through which they offended me. That's y'all talking. He's saying, boy, that's why he turned his head. He didn't want to wipe me out. He turned his head, but he was still offended. He was irritated. He wasn't patting me on my head. Okay, now, Barry, you know better than do that. Stop seeing him that way. He's looking at us. He's saying, son, how long are you going to do this? How long are you going to keep tripping over this thing? You got work to do. Isley Brothers. Got work to do. Y'all know that song. Some of y'all do. Some of y'all, if it ain't Shirley Caesar or whatever, that's all right. You see, here's what I'm saying. I'm going to put it in a football analogy. Sometimes y'all can be like Chuck Noll. John know who I'm talking about. See, some coaches, no, all of y'all know the guy that he done retired now, the former Alabama head coach, this college. What's his name? Hey, let me tell you something. Nick Saban know how to come to your house, and he'll talk to your parents, and he gonna do that. He's gonna look after their son, and he gonna do all of that. He gonna do that. You keep messing up, and Nick Saban gonna tell you a new one. Guess what? The Most High do us like that too. Now, I don't know how he do with the ladies, because we both serve different functions. But society's trying to tell you we're equal. Well, according to Scripture, we're not. But I ain't trying to start a fight today either. But I'm telling you, listen, when he gets angry and he's furious, it seems like, wipe him out. I'm gonna get him. You know, I know they were talking about Dr. Blizzard and, some of the other professors we learned under. But, this thing with where they were talking about there are two gods. They were saying the God of the Old Testament and the God of the New Testament. We know, ain't but one. It's not but one. We anger him. We offend him. But we've been told, no, you're precious. And I'm not saying you're not precious. But as cute as a baby is, man, when they go to the bathroom, woo, they can run everybody out the room. But they still cute after you to clean them up and put a little powder on them. See, I know a little something about that. But we're the same way. See, listen, as long as we're doing what he said do, doing it his way, doing it in his order, life's going to be relatively smooth, but it ain't all smooth sailing. I just read to you, when did he come visit Jeremiah again? When he was in prison. He wasn't on the Riviera drinking a lemonade. And Lord knows, please do not think I do not have compassion. Nobody likes a hard time. Me most of all. I'd like smooth sailing every day. But am I doing my part? No. No, I'm not. And when he said you reap what you sow, he mean that. And in America, we always, I want a direct answer for my question. And he said, what? Call upon me and I will answer you. But I learned a long time ago, this is for me. And I tell people that I'm particularly close to, if you really don't want the answer, then don't ask the question. See, a lot of us will ask the question, but do we really want the answer? See, that comes back to the maturity factor again. And I'm not making fun of any of us, because this is a us thing. I will cleanse them from all their sins. through which they offended me, and I will pardon all their sins, though which they offended and rebelled against me. He's saying, Barry, boy, you look at you. And now you got an attitude with them people down in Petersburg. I had never been here yet. Because you mad because every time you call your parents home, they ain't there. I need my mama and daddy. Grown man. Grown executive. Big time. Successful. Crying like a baby, snot flying. Wife gone. Ain't got no job. Every time I try to call, where they at? Where they at? And then on Wednesdays, and at that time on Sundays, put on a suit, put my headset on, and walking up and down the aisle. Big time captain, 35 men under him, handling the aisles that's on TV. Love when somebody, I saw you on TV the other day. Wife gone, no job. Big time exec. Thought I had it made in the shade. When that Dalcon Shield thing happened with A.H. Robbins, I'm calling my dad. Hey, Pop, listen, don't worry about nothing. You come on down here, I'll get you a house down the corner from me. Come on, move. Come on. But I didn't know at the time he said, son, I done retired. I'm full-time in the ministry. What? Huh? What? Listen, folks, we must have compassion for one another. But it's got to be a little more to it than just be warm and be fed. You understand what I'm saying? I will cleanse them from all their sins through which they offended me, and I will pardon all their sins through which they offended and rebelled against me. The name of this city will bring me, the name of this city will bring me joy, praise, and glory before all the nations of the earth that hear about all the good I am doing for them. Now these, the same people that he was really irritated with, look at what he's saying. And you know, right now, you know, a lot of us, we are having a hard time. And it might, I hope it don't, it might get a little more tense. Might not, don't have to. Don't have to. Well, how can we avoid this tidal wave? I don't know, but here's what I would suggest. Let's get our butts in gear and start doing what he say, doing it his way, and doing it in his order. And we all know this one. If my people that are called by my name would grow up, no, that ain't what it said. It said would humble themselves, but that's part of growing up. That really is. That's part of growing up. Humbling yourself. Don't stand in arrogance. Listen, society will sell all of us a bill of goods. Society will have you thinking that the world owe you something, and it doesn't. In this country, we are being programmed and positioned to keep ourselves up to here in debt. I don't care if we make $1 million a year. Most people making $1 million a year are $3 million in debt. And we talking about something. He got to make 6 figures. 6 figures? And I'm not saying that like that's nothing, because that's good. But I'm telling you, it's a lot of folks, I'll just put it that way. There's a lot of folks that's got you thinking they living large. Please do not look behind their curtain. The country is doing what do you think deficit spending is? And I'm not trying to make this political. I'm trying to help you see something here. Deficit spending. I know there's some legislation that passed, and some of the stuff in it, you're going to get some benefits. But for those that get some benefits, it's some other stuff that's going to swing the other way, and it's going to hit some other folk. But here's the thing again, I said we're not victims because I meant it, because most of us think a lot of this stuff is against us. The truth of the matter is, folks, it's a fight between some other folk, but because of our simulation, men that look like me and women that look like me, we mad at each other too. We got involved in somebody else's argument. I'm going to leave that alone for right now. But hopefully, before this month is out, we might get into that. And I can't wait. As long as it's not being streamed. Folks, we got to open our eyes. The name of the city will bring me joy, praise, and glory before all the nations of the earth that hear about all the good I am doing for them. They will be overcome with fear and trembling at all the good and peace I am securing for it. You know, some people might think, Petersburg going downhill. It don't have to. It don't have to. Pop used to think, well, no. He used to think, as long as we here, Petersburg good. And I'm like, okay. But saints, it don't have to be going downhill. Well, what can we do about it? Do what he say, do it his way, do it in his order. And listen, I'm not saying that like it's simple. You know what really irritates me? And I love him. My dad used to say this. And I just said, Lord, please don't say it. Well, all you got to do is. And I'm like, Pop, it ain't that simple. And I know people, my former pastor used to say, life's an open book. And he was talking about open the book and pass it. It sounds simple. You've all heard the phrase easier said than done. There's some truth to that. That's why we have a problem following instruction. I read that, but that don't sit with my spirit. What? wait a minute. No, bruh. No, sis. I didn't say, let's read it together. In fact, get 10 other translations. I just, okay. Here is what Yah says. You say this place is a wasteland, with neither people nor animals in the city of Judah, and the streets of Jerusalem are desolate, without people or animals, no inhabitants. Yet there will again be heard here the sounds of joy and gladness, and the voices of bridegroom and bride, the voices of those who sing. Give thanks to Yah, Lord of hosts, for Yah is good, for his grace continues forever. And I know, man, when stuff isn't hitting on all cylinders, it is tough. It is tough. The only thing I can tell you is just stick close. He sees it. Sometimes listen, sometimes he wants us to cry out to him. Sometimes he's like, oh, no, you still think you a hot shot. I'm talking about me now. I don't know that much about you. I'm talking about me. But I thought we had a deal. You know, like some of our prayers. How many of us actually, after we do that little tired wish list we got, do we even wait to give him any time to say anything? Or are we up and we on with our day? Oh, I done prayed. Don't answer, just think about it. See, we would think, well, I was praying. That shouldn't offend him. Really? Oh, so now you tell him what he should be offended at. We got to be careful. We got to be careful, saints. See, being mature, you stop that elementary stuff. We should be past the ABCs. We should be past the ABCs. I wonder what Yeshua meant when he said, and greater works shall you do. And greater works shall you do. And greater works shall you do. I wonder what he meant by that. Yah says, you say this place is a wasteland with neither people nor animals in the city of Judah, and that the streets of Jerusalem are desolate, without people or animals, no inhabitants. Yet there will again be heard here the sounds of joy and gladness, and the voices of bridegroom and bride. We had somebody get married about a few weeks ago. Right here. Right here. And I tell you, I really feel bad. I miss it because, man, when all you do is every other week you at a funeral, it gets to you. the sounds of joy and gladness, and the voices of the bridegroom and bride, the voices of those who sing. Give thanks to Yah, Lord of hosts, for Yah is good, for his grace continues forever, as they bring offerings of thanksgiving into the house of Yah. For I will cause those captured from the land to return as before, says Yah. And so, yes, again, yes, he gets irritated with us. Yes, sometimes we offend him. Sometimes we don't know. Sometimes I can't speak for you. So I'll revert back to me. Sometimes I know when I'm being a knucklehead and a jackass, and that's not a bad word. I mean, when I'm being honest, when I'm not trying to impress somebody. Why are we trying so hard to impress one another? As soon as somebody asks you for 15 cents, I mean, saints, we can do better. It's wonderful that you can recite things backwards and forwards and all that. And you sound good sometimes. But when is it going to motivate us to action? And by action, I mean more than just coming to church. Now, I'm not telling you not to come. But stop congratulating yourself because you came. For all that he has invested in us, I'm going to go out on the limb. He might want a little bit more out of each one of our lives than what we've been given. And I can hear, some say, well, you don't know what I do. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But I do know this. You can do more. And it won't cut your time with him. Because he loves that time. He loves that time. I see it. He says, and this is for the city of Petersburg, he says, yet there will again be heard the sounds of joy and gladness, the voices of bridegroom and bride, the voices of those who sing, give thanks to Yah, Lord of hosts, for Yah is good, for his grace continues forever, as they bring offerings of thanksgiving into the house of Yah. For I will cause those captured from the land to return as before, says Yah. So, yeah, we can have brighter days. That's a refrain in one of Al Jarreau's songs. Boy, he sure know a whole lot of non-gospel people. He probably a heathen in disguise. I know a whole lot of heathens don't do nothing but play what we call gospel music. And I'm not, hey, look, again, I ain't messing with nobody. I don't want to fight nobody. But folks, I'm serious. I'm kind of tired of this church thing. let's kind of ditch some of this kind of sorta. I'm kind of sorta with you. Well, I'm gonna say this for myself. I ain't speaking for nobody else. I'm at a point in life where if the best you got is kind of sorta, I'm just speaking for myself. If the best you got is kind of sorta, I don't know if that's going to help us get where we got to go. If you still see service to the Most High as a thing you can do when you feel like it, I don't think that attitude is going to do very much in the kingdom. And no, nobody appointed me the gatekeeper of heaven. But I've said it before, we're looking for people that will come out of the stands and get in on the field. See, that's where the action is, out on the field. The field, yes, the field of life. See, we kind of been trained to do things a certain way, and I'm telling you, it's hurting us. It's not helping us. It's hurting us. Our growth is being stunted because we become the more convenient stuff gets, the less, in fact, there's a new term they talk about, they say, when they talk about dating, they say low effort, low effort. Well, low effort has entered into the house of many houses of worship. People doing, here's the other term, bare minimum. You've heard some people that are married that say, well, yeah, I'm still with him or I'm still with her, but they doing just the bare minimum. Don't be that type of member. Don't be like that. He deserves better than our bare minimum. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to shut up because they done turned the thing off. But, and again, I'm not angry. I'm not upset with anybody. We can do better. We can do better. But we need to be consistent and we need to be persistent. Like I said, we can't do it. Look, 15 minutes or even how long we here? We here for a couple of hours, a few hours a week. What about the rest of the week? That's just for today. You live out your faith when you leave here. That's what we got to remember that. We live out our faith when we leave here. When you leave your house, Torah going with you. The instructions, they count at home, not just here. Everywhere you go. And it should encourage, Barry, you got no business going there. What are you going there for? Habits that we got to get rid of. What are we doing to keep doing that? What are we doing that for? And again, hey, listen. Keep coming after the instruction. Keep wanting to walk out the instruction. Keep wanting to live out the instruction. And things will change. God bless you. Oh boy. Let's be